Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So after finishing off 1000 Crazy Archaeologists last month, I did decide that now would be a pretty good time to kill 1000 of the other archaeologists in the game, none other than the Deranged Archaeologist. Now I must say before the video begins that this drop table is very similar to the Crazy one, and unfortunately this boss has virtually no rares, as you'll see throughout the video. However, there are some differences between the two archaeologists, so I do think that this video is worth making, and this loot series is going to cover every single monster and boss in the game, as boring as they might be and as exciting as they might be. So with all that being said, I really do appreciate you guys enjoying the series so far. This is the 73rd loot video of the series overall, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into this Deranged Archaeologist video. I will warn you, the word archaeologist is used a lot during this vid, but you know, it just kind of goes with it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the mechanics for this boss are the exact same as the Crazy Archaeologist one, however this itself is in a different area than the wilderness. The Deranged Archaeologist can be found all the way south of Tar Swamp, which is located in Fossil Island, and in general this was released into the game September 7th, 2017. It is considered a demi-boss, so it's definitely not a mainstream boss or anything, and the only requirement in order to get here is of course to have an axe, because you do have to chop down some trees and some vines to get here, and while you're running to this area, it is pretty likely that you're going to get poisoned by the plants surrounding this. So an anti-poison is recommended, but it's not necessary. I myself was just bringing a rune pouch after a few hundred kills in because I kept getting poisoned. So being on the Lunar Spellbook and using the Cure Me spell, I would always get unpoisoned right away. Now while you're fighting the Deranged Archaeologist, in terms of the combat and the attack that he uses, you're going to want to always be praying range and watch out for when he yells learn to read, because those words let you know that the orange book attack is coming, and you do have to run away from all of the books or you're going to be taking some heavy damage. And you will see numerous times throughout this video that this specific attack did kill me, and that's just because of lack of paying attention, I guess. The wiki also notes that if you're trying to safe spot him, he won't be able to see you and he'll just yell no hiding, and you will be taking some heavy damage from that as well. Personally, I never attempted to safe spot him. I just wanted to face tank this, just keeping a little distance for the most part. It was pretty easy to manage that. Now as it goes for the gear recommended for this boss, I did go with the max mage setup because it is weak to magic, so I went with the best Trident in the game, and I did start at just about 10,000 charges. And you can also use a Sang Staff and get your HP back and pretty much maximize your kills per trip with that. However, I just wanted to make this video a little bit relatable. I mean, I know the gear was over the top, but I figure most people would use a Trident here, so it's just easier to kind of show you guys the profit loss versus the profit gain once you kind of factor in all those supplies. And overall, kind of a spoiler alert, but for this 1000 kills and with this setup, it did take me a total of 12,000 Trident charges. And of course, we will factor all those charges into the price check versus the 1000 drops, so we can see just how much profit overall we did get. Now, upon release, this archaeologist did actually drop uncharged glories at an uncommon drop rate, and that's highly useful for Ironman accounts. However, people did complain about this, and Jagex did replace those glories with the crystal keys instead. And you will be seeing a lot of crystal keys throughout this video, since it's only like a 1 in 18 drop. Another fun trivia fact for you about this boss that I did find on the wiki is that the examine text that you'll see on the Deranged Archaeologist is a reference to Tears in Rain, the monologue from the 1982 Ridley Scott film Blade Runner. Never seen that movie, but you know, fun facts are fun, so why not? Now, comparing the drop table from the Deranged to the Crazy, although they are similar, they certainly are different as well. Since Deranged is on Fossil Island, you can expect to receive all different types of fossils, which I did collect and trade in at the end. And obviously, since the Crazy one is in the wilderness, you won't be getting any fossils from there. A highlighted difference, in my opinion, is the fact that the Crazy Archaeologist has a rare drop table of expensive shards, as well as the fedora. The Deranged one has literally no rare at all as it goes for value-wise. It does, however, offer an elite clue, which is 1 in 200, and the Crazy one has a hard clue, which is 1 in 64. Another difference between the two is the Deranged Archaeologist drops black d'hide bodies and black d'hide separately. The Crazy one drops red d'hide bodies and red d'hide. So you can see they basically just moved up the tier of d'hide, since the Deranged one is 72 combat levels higher. But it is strange how the Deranged Archaeologist, although it is higher combat, has 200 HP, and the crazy one has 225 HP. So that's kind of weird if you ask me. Now, if you're a hardcore Iron Man and you receive a crazy archaeologist boss task and you don't want to risk your status in the wilderness, then you can kill the deranged one in order to complete that Slayer task. Obviously, this doesn't work with Wilderness Slayer, but as it goes for boss tasks, it works 100% of the time. The mechanics are exactly the same, but the one big difference is obviously you won't have to be in the wilderness, so the only risk you're going to be taking is just from the boss itself, since it is a safe zone on Fossil Island. Now, I did track all these kills through the Ring of Wealth boss log, as well as the text in the chat box, but you can also track kills using a bone crusher here, since you do receive bones every single kill. Overall, I will say, in my experience killing this boss, it was pretty underwhelming. I mean, I really do think Jagex should add a rare drop table to it, just because if you think about it, there's really no point at all to kill this thing. I mean, if you're looking to kill an archaeologist for money or for useful items, even if you're an Iron Man, then I would say without a doubt killing the crazy one is much more beneficial. I mean, even the Dragon Arrow drop, which is pretty useful for Iron Men at later stages, you get 75 of the crazy one, and only 60 at this deranged one. Other than that, you know, the crazy archaeologist offers the rune crossbow, while the deranged one just offers the limbs. It is pretty strange how they made the drop table similar, but different at the same time, if you just kind of compare the drops overall. And if you check out the description below, you will see a Gaiazo pretty safe screenshot link that'll show you loot from 1000 crazy archaeologist, and then you guys can kind of be the judge just to see the difference between the two. Feel free to ignore all those god swords in my inventory while I was live streaming this on Twitch throughout last week. Really Rich Steak, a friend of mine, thought it would be funny to drop a lot of god swords, so don't mind that. You can't expect any god swords from this boss. But hey, maybe if enough people tell Jagex, they might throw it on the drop table, but no, I don't see that happening at all. I did, of course, receive some pretty uncommon rares, you know, such as adamant javelins, rune bars, rune kite shields, rune square shields, you know, all the basics that you guys have seen throughout this series in the past year. I feel like most monsters have that unique rare drop table. Even did receive a dragon stone later on, and a lot of long bones, so, you know, a lot of construction XP was gained, and a lot of long bones were collected, so that's nice. A nice drop that you can expect here is, of course, the Onyx bolt tips. You get a quantity of 6 from the deranged and 12 from the crazy, and this was my very first elite clue scroll drop at just around 438 KC, which is twice the drop rate since it is 1 in 200. But yeah, my elite luck did turn around later on in the video, did receive quite a bit of those, so it is a benefit, you know, one of the strong differences between the two, and I was really happy to do that. And you guys will actually see something very unique at the end of this video. I did make my stream a promise that if I did get a master clue in one of the elite caskets, and it did require a hot and cold step, then I would download RuneLite and try it out. And yes, this is the very first loot video, may not be the best loot video, but you will see me use RuneLite at the end of this, and this truly is a game changer for this account. I have used RuneLite before on some alts while I was doing a lot of clue scrolls in certain monster videos, but I never wanted to use it on my main. I don't know why, I just, you know, years of being ignorant, I guess. Yeah, now that this is going to be a full-time thing, you guys can expect a lot of different monsters in the series because there's such a great loot tracker on there. You know, sometimes I kill a monster that can't be tracked by a bone crusher or a Ring of Wealth log or something like that, so I have to rely on using XP or something insane. But now that I'm using RuneLite in future videos, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of untouched content. Specifically, one thing that I'm looking forward to is Revenants. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that, guys. New year, new me, you know, new client. Won't be a 24/7 thing, but definitely going to be using it on and off, so be on the lookout for that. But getting back to the video, you know, I really do think that this boss was just kind of devoted to hardcore Iron Man, because if you really think about it, if you are a hardcore Iron Man and you get a crazy archaeologist boss task, you know, it's kind of like just a dumb idea by Jagex because you'd have to risk your status in the wilderness, and so I think this was just kind of the alternative for hardcore accounts to do, and in return you wouldn't be risking it as much. And this still is a dangerous boss. I mean, the infamous A Friend did die on his hardcore here, and I'm sure many others have as well, because the damage stack is just incredibly high. Again, I am kind of complaining here, but I think if you're gonna have to take the risk while killing this, even as a main, you know, you still die a lot. I mean, I died a lot during this video myself. I just think the drop should be, you know, a little bit better if you're going to make this boss such a difficult thing to kill, and just, you know, this damage stacks and all that. Difficult's probably not the best word. I'd say dangerous more than anything. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the drop table's perfect the way it is, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you are curious of just how popular this boss is, rank 1 in the game as it goes for who killed this the most is a guy named Fuggins, and his score overall KC is 1,200. And since I got exactly 1,000, I am now rank 4 overall, and if I kill 201 more, I would be rank 1. So for anyone who's a fan of being rank 1 in things, go for this boss. It's certainly not hard. It'll probably take you like 2 days. So just a shout out to the high scores. It's just kind of more proof that not a whole lot of people go out of their way to kill this thing. And unless the drop table ever gets boosted, I don't think anyone ever will. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, loot from 1000 has been completed. Let's go ahead and get into the price check, see how much money we made or lost once of course we deduct the supplies, open all the caskets and everything else. So let's get to it. Alright, so the very first price check, you know, not many runes, but decent amount of cannonballs, 660 dragon arrows, and just about 53 crystal keys, and 354 onyx bolt tips. Everything does come out to be rounded up 9.5 mil. Not too bad at all. Now we go and we look at all the gems, and of course the food drops, the pizzas, the potatoes, and the tree seed drops that I did mention, but you know, not many seeds at all, unfortunately. It does come out to be just about 1.1 mil rounded up as well. So I mean, that's not too bad, but we still have of course all the fossils, since this is located in Fossil Island, to trade into the NPC, the fossil collector. Let's go ahead and do that. This will just kind of add on to that stack of nummulite that you do receive after every single kill. And don't forget to wear your ring of wealth here, because you will be collecting that right away, save you some time. I just went with a Seer's ring though. But yeah, all of the nummulite does come out to be just about 21,562, which is an additional 431k. So we'll go ahead and we'll round that down to 400k. And if you add up the 9.5 plus the 1.1 plus the 0.4, loot from 1000 Deranged Archaeologist does come out to be exactly 11 mil. And with the additional long bones, we did receive just about 80k construction XP, so that can be considered some money as well, but it is nice to get that as XP. Now if we go on over to the 5 elite clue scrolls, the first one we get 231k. The second one we did receive a master's, so we're going to jump on the runelight clip to do that. And of course for the next few we didn't receive anything at all, so pretty underwhelming elites, but I think we're all pretty much used to that by now. About 700k overall from all those. And here's the first runelight clip that you'll see of this loot series so far. And we did actually get the mimic boss, which I think is a 1 in 250 chance for third age. And after we did kill that, we did get a plank from that. And from the master clue we did receive 545k. So with all the clues accounted for, it's like an extra 1.2 mil, but we'll disregard that from the actual price check. The real question is, how much did I spend on 1000 Deranged Archaeologists just in supplies? I'm talking charges, food, and potions. And that overall number is 9.4 mil. So if we subtract 9.4 from the 11 mil, we are left with 1.6 mil profit just from the Deranged Archaeologist drops themselves. And that's in 1000 kills, averaging about 40 kills an hour. This has got to be one of the worst bosses to kill in the game. And yeah, that's it. So let me know what you guys think of the drops. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Thank you very much for the continued support through the series. This was kind of fun to make. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Underwhelming drops means underwhelming excitement, but at the same time, it was fast, so at least there's that. And that's about it for now. So with all of that being said, thank you very much for watching the video, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep, out.